All right, so let's get this meeting started because we are a different subject, so yes, let's get to the subject at hand. All right.
What you want.
I'm assuming there's no here, so citizen petitions. Well, nobody, not a citizen outside of. So approval of minutes.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor? Correspondence, communication. Reports, Avalon.
In Groton, it is my understanding that it is a survey, finally, for cutting out the roadway that Avalonia acquired when they acquired the Rio Antonino Preserve. But we haven't seen a signed survey.
Now, what do you mean cutting out?
Well, as you go in at the traffic light by the Nissan dealership and go straight up, Avalonia's Rio Antonino is there. There's a road that goes left into that professional complex that's considered a fire road. It's okay, and it came with our deed. It came with our deed. Private property. So they came to us and wanted the road fixed, and we said, "What? We don't have any money to fix the road. Shouldn't that belong to the complex?" And finally, somebody ferreted out an old deed that showed that it belonged to the complex, rightfully so, right? It's a fire road. Okay.
It's a driveway.
It's a driveway. But anyway, that's in progress, I guess. And eventually that will show. Survey and a new deed at some point in time. Eversource, I don't know if everybody's realized what Eversource is doing, but going through and putting up those huge metal stanchions. And then wherever there's a right of way, we have at least two right of ways, one in Groton and one in Ledger. And what they do is they come in and then they put in these heavy planked bridges wherever there's wetlands to go over the bridges. So when you look at these things, it's amazing because they have to carry these heavy trucks, but they're going all the way through. Come all the way through one of the, I think it's the Gibbs property over by Avon. Coming right over a wetland and coming out on another road and then going over there. And wherever there's wetland, there is now one of these heavy plank bridges.
But it'll come out.
I can't imagine they're ever going to take them over.
I mean, I think the permitting authority was there.
Are they going to maintain the stuff that's in the wetland?
They will know. It's like the next time you need to go in 2 years, 3 years, whatever, they'll back.
Okay. Well, these,
However, by Tri-Town Trails, they might be good, but they gave us a carrot. We put in 2 parking lots at each end of our
they,
tree. So you can ask for things.
well, we did get a parking lot.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
One
So
parking lot.
you gotta-
Anywhere.
They gotta do some training.
We had a good turnout.
Sorry, I said that.
Oh, these huge metal stanchions, they're like,
The poles.
Oh,
So they're going to metal. Because they.
Want some stuff in other towns? Very briefly, the Nature Conservancy has deeded over Pike Marshall Preserve in Ledger to Avalonia recently, within the last week or so.
How many
Sandy.
acres?
Pardon?
How many
That's gonna be-
acres? All right,
I know they
It's
took
another town,
everybody in
so-
Legend for a walk, I think it's 200 and some. I think it's where that,
long.
yeah, it's been there for a long time. We are receiving an award from CLCC, Senate Land Conservation Commission, and there's going to be a presentation in Norwich in July, but so be it. I think I said Sandy Point passes out. Anybody wants to go up to the beach. I don't know how you want me to report this. Do you want me to just report Groton things, or do you want me to mention other things when I send you an email?
Oh. Yeah, send me the whole thing.
Read it out. Take what you want, I'll leave the rest.
Yes.
Good enough, thanks.
Property. Last time I applied for a recreation trails grant. Work started. They had $19 million in requests. They had $13 million in budget.
Close.
Disappointing. Yeah.
Does that put you in the head the next round? It doesn't work that.
No, unfortunately, I'd like to know why. They'd already, and I don't know if they'd already funded 10 years ago, first part of the project. Did that hurt us? I don't know. Anyway, still have permits good through. Oh, no.
Whatever it was I told you.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm sorry.
Too many.
Yeah, so we did get, I mean, and that's what I thought would help sell the project. It's actually double ready. Plans, all the permitting in place, we can start on this fall. We can talk about the fact that rail trail there. Anyway,
I just comment that the trail stay.
Yeah, Tom Olson.
Tom Olson and
Ran.
the Conservation Commission. We did the cut property.
Forest. Has it. And the person who coordinates trails. Both live in Groton. Tom was thrilled.
oh, good.
So you got some,
There was maybe
Yeah, it didn't sound like-
6, 7 people. It wasn't the best of days. I mean, it was threatening. But I was impressed with the improvements beyond the dog park. When you're going south, there was one of the trails went right through a street there.
Oh.
And you put a boardwalk of
Punches,
sorts.
yes, like a punch it. Help me, guy. Speak of that.
So which was
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, those have been.
I think I did the one. Was I?
like having you there, you've got some free publicity because there's some. Have now 800 miles of trail. I mean, huge amount of trails from that person. And our property, so they're gonna be aware of it. And they have to.
I think that man's name is Croce. He's the chair of the board.
Or sleep parts. That's
That's right. Yeah, right. It's CROCE or
Yeah, they have
something.
to go find out. Pictures of. And probably
No,
you
and-
too,
and,
but
I'm terrible with names, getting worse.
I have to look.
And then the other couple were very nice. So the,
Sue was there. Somebody that I know, that I saw, sorry, at the seaport, and then you and Tom, Rochi.
There's a lot of choices there.
oh yeah, so obviously,
So, yeah, we did get that. We're still working towards. By this fall. Crosstown Trail.
You mean the Bluff Point to wherever, or another one?
No, Crosstown.
trust,
Yeah.
I don't,
that would be
Bluff
Sydney.
Point.
the old
Or
one
Jones.
was Bluff to Town's End, but the new one is something Jones set up. It was Sheep Farm to someplace.
Oh, well, no, that other trail still exists, but Groton is. It now starting at Sheep Farm.
Yeah,
That other trail does still exist.
it would have been fun to have a retrospect. 23 years.
But the open space,
yeah, it was,
but they had walks. 3 different locations. Department provided borderlands. Bellheads. I guess they have. They're doing a lot of outreach, schools. Taking the class out, hiking, and establish those connections. Now it's. They are working with the department summer camp program. They move out every week to the sheep farm. What kids
have you had any problems?
not that I'm aware of, but now past. It's just jinxed.
Sorry.
No,
No, it's,
no, I know, that's something that we deal with all the time. But I am not aware. Hopefully there's enough use. That encourages.
Flies on a trail wheels.
there's one on Fishtown Road. At the trailhead to.
Yeah.
Merritt property. It's pink.
Oh,
So when you drive, it's pink,
Yeah.
or at least one side of it's pink.
Yes.
And they put it out there for trail stay. Well, there was this past week,
oh,
and so it,
that's actually.
I think it's a great idea, because there's always people there. Few cars. Right? There's some people who bike it. Some people. I go by early in the morning. But it's no idea if kids use it at night. Sun goes down.
Yeah.
Quiet part of the road. I guess that's the question. It's a great idea, but nobody.
Right.
May I back up just a minute?
Oh, sure.
Talking about trail camps. Emily has established 4 trail camps throughout some of our properties. One for the main reason is that we were interested if people were actually using the trail Because if they weren't using the trail, we didn't want to hang it. We put up the surveillance things. We always end up with issues in some of our parking lots. So now when you drive into some of the parking lots, it's right in front of you, this property. And hopefully that will deter some of the activities that we have been experiencing. Unfortunately.
We did the same thing. Other people out woods, a number of years.
Yeah.
We actually.
Yeah. What is this going in and out?
Oh,
It
yes,
follows
when it
people.
follows people
Oh.
when they speak.
Thank you, sorry, Craig.
Oh, no, that's, so there's live cam.
And they've been playing around with them because they weren't quite sure that when they first set them up, they were getting everything.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't set it up right, you get all the leaves.
Oh,
We've caught bobcats and coyotes, and we haven't had a bear yet, but some of it's been pretty interesting. Some of the wildlife's been interesting. I haven't seen them. We get reports.
town trails. Include the bike pedestrian. I don't know what this stuff is. The last time I reported the permitting process, get lights, walking path at the park. That's through permitting and our either 22 feet time and putting it this fall, but late into the fall. So if we have a winter like we did last winter, us, we'll be all set. Otherwise, we may.
Is it, you have to,
Yes, or there's such a. Yes, sir. Still 20. Hoping it was shrunk down. We originally talked to the manufacturer, this guy, supply chain issues. Okay, well.
Are they going to be off at a certain?
Yes, they are programmable.
For the neighbors, will they all be like directed?
Oh, yeah, they'll be right on it. Yeah, as part of the permitting process, we had photometric. And that showed that there was spill, is that right? Or no spill beyond the property. And actually,
Beyond the path.
yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's,
does it? For a while. So,
Yes.
so if someone wants to, this time of year, you want to walk at 7 o'clock, it's like, let's say you continue to fall.
yeah, so I was looking through because I sent some spec sheets. You can program little lights, an app on your phone. So it may require, monthly adjusting, because right now, it doesn't get dusk until 9:15 or 9 o'clock or whatever. But in the wintertime, it's dusk at 4:04. So, yeah, so we'll be playing with the light.
You don't have to leave your office, how nice.
My wife would like it.
Well, it's one of those things that you don't have to.
Right,
You
I
have so
can
many
sit,
things
I
to
can
do.
sit at my couch, and play with the lights. Yeah.
So if you could-
Right, yeah. Yeah. And we completed widening half. Plan on doing the other half. reason that we widened it is so that now have a piece of equipment that drag to heavy rain, wash people. Smooth, so now we can drag it.
Is there gonna be something?
It is so nice.
That is satisfying.
By town trails.
So Tom really should be here, but he continues to go to Rock Utility. He continues to present. Not to have all the councilors there to decide what they do. But I am sure he mentioned that did do a $20,000 amount of money for a study of all the reservoirs in the state. All the reservoirs in the state, not all the reservoirs, but many of the reservoirs in the state, you know, who allows what kind of access, biking or hiking or, you know, fishing or boating or whatever, and how much it costs to maintain it. So that was presented.
No, actually, it was presented either in December or January. And subsequent to that, 2 meetings ago, Tom probably mentioned that Groton Utility people themselves
Right.
did a
Right.
great presentation about how.
So we're, yes, well, you know, it means more work for the utility if they have trails there. And they're losing staff, some are retiring and cutting back also staff people. So they're in a bind right now, so it's a really tough, difficult time to be talking about having the responsibility of operating or allowing us to have access. So there's one board meeting, Wednesday, the 21st.
One more, it's
One more
every
meeting.
month, on
Well,
the third Wednesday.
Yes, we're still there. We're still
This is
there.
a year and a half later, a year and a half.
The big concern is that we have a planning grant to extend the trail and ledger and need Groton Utilities property to complete that to 14. And that's a really difficult one because with the Tri-Town Trail is we didn't have a railroad track. If we had had a railroad track, but we are, you know, it's all the time, it's another name. It's 5 property owners, they can get conservation right of ways, and then they get Groton Utilities for the last week. To at least get, you know, complete that section of it. So it's a really, I mean, you don't understand how excited we were when we got our first 2 miles. It was like, you know, potted plants to all the neighbors, please sign on. Knocking at their doors, trying to be nice, you know. And we got that far, so we were thrilled. The rest of it. So we're still plodding along. We'll probably have an open house this fall and an oven fest. And also, we're signing up with the Last Green Valley sponsor. And they're doing their October. So they really encourage people. This really starts from Preston.
Do you mind if I add?
Not really an expert.
I'm not an expert either, I just sit at the meetings.
Okay.
When Groton Utilities made their presentation,
Who, I mean, the employees?
the employees,
Okay.
well, the representatives for Groton Utilities that were the employee group
Right.
and whoever else was there. The thing that was never identified is, way back when, is the cost to do this. And so they estimated the cost that it would take to support this project. And it was over $1 million to begin with because of what they felt they needed to put in there to handle the public, like porta pots and all the rest of that. And then there would be added maintenance, the added surveillance of what's going on in there, and then to keep it closed at night and all the rest of
However,
that.
what they proposing, Tri-Town Trail was proposing, only going from that, more or less, stone house or where the commuter parking lot is on 117, top property, quarter mile, it's hard to.
No, I'm talking about the whole thing.
Like, but we weren't asking.
Yeah.
We
It's,
were
it's,
asking for an access point, just be able to start that process so that at least we could get to 117. Talk about how to connect 117. So that was an important link. So, yeah, it's a difficult problem. You know, you can understand both sides. I mean, get worried about staffing in it, and now they're losing that. And one was on one of the roads and stuff. So,
Are they using oversight from the house? Are they using this trail?
that could have been one of it. Thing is, when you go out, it's being used. The people, all the neighbors are using it. You didn't even have to blaze the trail.
Right.
It's blazed. So fencing probably would be the one thing. But we were open to just as give us a chance to show that we would be able to.
Somebody had actually blazed this yellow. And
Well-
they were great walks, and they were away from the reservoir. Right on. You didn't know until you got a nasty rain, sonic. You know, you are. But of course, it was the view on the top of the cliffs. Looking at the coast.
So I'm sure it's a stepping stone.
So as we were doing the trail state, we were doing perimeter walk below before we did the full trail. Yeah. And on the perimeter trail, we're talking about the living properties or and the whole trail. That trail down where its own house is still being used. And I think they put in one of their signs on that particular trail a little further down, wherever the property is. But it's one of its markets established. Suggestion.
Yeah.
We didn't. Somebody asked.
So that's the hard part because we know that you had more safety. All you have to do now, if you're on a trail to see something with that, you know, any kind of four-wheeler, you just take out a camera and go like this thing, turn right around, here's the way. Then they get have a camera. That's happened to me several times. You know, hit the shit to pedal to the metal and they're gone.
Want to mention PSCD at all?
Not
Not yet.
yet, I mean, we've gotten funding for the POCD,
Yeah.
it becomes available. One, it needs to be updated, sorry, plan of concept.
Oh, yes, oh, yeah.
It needs to be updated by 26, so, you know. What we're doing first is communication. That we can get in from all of Groton and not just people who are paying attention. You know, typically it's the same folks who pay attention and want to hear from everything.
Pricing.
So, yeah.
I just get on there.
Yeah, and we found that our out today, it's like we can't sit there. What we're thinking if we do this, maybe we'll get people excited about it and wanna be on something. Neighborhood groups and renters and real diverse, what Groton has.
Can I find out what's going to happen? Bridge that goes to 15. I understand we have funding for that, and I,
Yeah,
is that gonna go
makes sense.
bicycle lane?
Actually,
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
take
yeah,
us
so we're not
100%.
Have you sat on the task force?
Oh,
uh, all sorts of iterations of what to do.
yeah, so I'm curious.
And some of them had to be put aside because of issues. So the bottom line is we came up with a bridge so many feet higher than what's already there. Climate change, sea level rise. The biggest problem is on the west side, which goes to Groton. And there's a consensus. Most people on the task force were agreeable to extend right path, sidewalk from the bridge to, well, Esco Point Beach, from Esco Point Beach to the bridge. They're gonna put in sidewalks. That was a given. Problem is trying to go to East Shore Road, I think is the first one is out. Finish off there. But he was not. So the problem is so who owns that? Who takes care of it? Because with the proposed sidewalk bike path will cut into people that are on the south side of the road.
Very limited.
Very
Oh
limited.
my
They
God.
build right up to
And
the
the water's
edge.
coming in.
Yeah,
Yes.
they are really.
Right, so it goes into the. That has been ongoing negotiations. That's, so once that's resolved, they put the shovel in the ground.
I just see that as, because I live in London, and kids jump off the bridge. The fishermen are standing there at nighttime and you don't see them. People are walking, you have the concerts, the strollers come out. The walkers come out, the bikers come out. It is just, you live there, don't you live in Groton? And it's just, I always like my roads because it's just dangerous. Extension there, at least.
Fisher's Cliff.
They looked at it,
I know.
but. Right, and the problem is that it would have been on the south side and that's the exposed side.
Oh,
But there's.
wonder what happens.
Hopefully that gets resolved soon.
I think it was the. But I met, when he first presented three plans and I was standing talking. I said, yeah, it's so dangerous, kids jump off. Richie said, my son just came home, he just told me he did that, I couldn't believe it. I said, yeah, it's dangerous. And they gotta do it.
last item. That's. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
or
Standard.
yeah, well, maybe. There's. No, Brian Kent.
Right.
Was
Oh,
there, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so I think they're still waiting. There was an announcement. Let's see, the town clerk. So when there's projects that involve sidewalks or streets, there is a group that will be reviewing projects. There's opportunity. Walkers, bikers. Those. And this is the- Doesn't mean that every single project will be. It could just. The obstacles, you have cost. Physical space. Yeah, project. Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but two things. At the Earth Day Fair, at whatever you want to call it, at the Groton Public Library, there's a group there. I picked up this brochure on sustainability. Is that being talked about in all of these committees about sustainability going
Yeah.
forward?
I mean, our department has just.
Yeah,
Yeah, so, yeah, absolutely, she is coordinating all departments.
In fact, she just got $1,000 grant
Yeah.
yesterday.
for her.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
to put together a
Climate action plan.
climate action
Yeah.
plan
Climate action.
for Groton. And I think Groton is one of the very few communities that does
So for sure, I mean,
yeah.
places like Bridgeport even do, but
Yeah. Around here,
Yeah.
Groton is the only one. I don't even know. If it's working. It's kind of taken a leaf.
Very interesting that Zell Stever, how many years ago was oversight person for climate change. And he tried to get the town to hire somebody for that type of a position because he indicated at that time there was money out there to support the position through grants. But I think that report might still be in the library. I thought it was interesting the town wasn't interested. So as life goes on and it becomes more important that you are sustainable. And I had one more question because this is about trails, okay? And I was poking around and I know that on one of our properties, this All Trails group, they really have errors in that information they put out there for trail maps. And I don't know how
Anyone,
you correct it.
anyone can make a change.
It's kind of like it's a
yeah,
for trails.
Exactly, good idea.
Yeah.
Well, how about the one that
So you
says
can
everything
correct.
is open? Do I have to do that myself?
It's someone in Avalon needs to do that.
Yeah.
But I was looking particularly at the Pike Marshall because it said it was open 24 hours. And I thought, do we have trails in this town that are open theoretically 24 hours? And most of them dawn to dusk. How about Tri-Town? Is it dawn to dusk?
Yeah.
That's pretty standard, isn't it? Dawn to dusk.
I mean, I guess. But yeah, generally it's.
To the public.
Yeah.
For what that means.
I think most people don't hike at night because it can't see.
Except in full moons. So you have to go on,
Like you said, it's like a meeting.
You have to get, you have a full-time stewardship coordinator or something.
we do now,
Yeah.
he's a busy man,
Well.
I guess
Get on
he's,
his phone.
it's sort of interesting because I think he's also started to work with community service people. So now that we have a full-time stewardship person, you know, that's a man, that it's easier for him to pull in this type of assistance. Because if somebody has to do legally community
Right.
service and they want to be outside, then
Right.
you get in touch with Toby and come on out and help us do our trails and stuff like that. So, you know, it has made a big difference. I did mention that, but having a full-time stewardship chair who has the responsibility has made a big difference in the short period. Paid staff. Hope he stays around. If somebody doesn't offer him a better job.
Those are your volunteers?
Pardon?
Those are your volunteers? That come out doing
Get
stuff?
him out. Get him to, as Bob Bolton says, it's a skin in the game. Skin in the game.
I get a motion.
Make a motion that we adjourn the meeting at 4:42.
How'd it go, Lee?
So,
I think more or less.
Thank you, Lee.
All those in favor? All right.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you for all your time and continuing this on. Do you have to go to be before the great hoopah to get this committee to continue?
I am not sure of the date that this,
Is anybody else?
there we go.
Thanks.
Actually, drop that. There's something